Hello, everyone. This is Gruesome Herzog's Horror Movie Review. My special guest today is Adam Huss. He played Tommy in the movie Resurrection County. How you doing, Tommy? Adam. Excuse me.
I'm okay. I'm kidding. No problem. You can call me Tommy if you want.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was on my laptop earlier, and I was showing my son the trailer. He hasn't seen the movie yet, and he said, "That's pretty cool." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll let you watch it."
Great. More the merrier.
Yeah. Now, if you don't mind, we're going to start here with this movie, and if you want to talk about other things, we can.
Okay.
Right? Now, what was your...
Yeah.
Now, this might seem like a dumb question, but I always ask it. What was your experience in making this movie?
I had a great time. James Cotton is a friend of mine. I met him in L.A., at L.A. Film School, believe it or not. He was doing a short film, and I remember he told me that I got the job because I came in to audition, and I basically interviewed him, and rather than him auditioning me. And we became friends ever since, and he put me in his short films, and since then he put me in his feature films, almost every one that he's done. And when I went down to Arkansas to do the film, James wound up getting a bigger film. He left as director, and somebody else took over, Matt Patel. And I was a little weary about it, but it turned out to be such a great experience because the cast was just, we all just bonded like brother and sister, and I had the opportunity to get one of my best friends, someone who I believe is a really amazing actress, Catherine Fischel, the role of Lucy. She auditioned for it, and so she was able to come down as well to Arkansas, and then we met Cassie Self, and Dayton Knoll I knew from a few other movies I did with James. And the four of us really bonded, and the movie was, about the four of us basically together. So the experience was so pleasurable because we all had such a good thing going,
Yep.
So, and then of course the crew was amazing and fun, and the cast. The director Matt Patel was really great and hands-on with us, and allowed us a lot of creative freedom. We all would go out after, and hang out at night. We'd wrap at 6 in the morning, and we'd be hanging out in the hotel, courtyard. Probably should be sleeping, but we'd stay up and just hang. So it's just very, that's why I love independent filmmaking. It's like a little family,
Exactly. That's why I enjoy independent horror as well. Let me ask you a question now. Was Scooter a nut job making the movie too?
You know what? No, he's like the nicest guy, and he's really. I don't know if he did much acting before. I know he's worked with a pretty popular band, country band, and I don't know. I think James Noah put him in the role. I don't know his experience, but he was good.
I know.
He was not so nutty in person. He was pretty down to earth.
Yeah, I was being a little facetious because that damn whistle that he does all the time. Yeah,
he made that up too. He made that up.
But
maybe he is a little nutty.
You had two big ass actors in that movie too.
Yeah, Robert Miano.
Yep.
Who is great, and I think phenomenal as a preacher.
Yep. And you got that Russ Blackwell, that stag. He's huge.
Yeah, and he
is huge.
I know. He great as well, man. He came in there from Florida. He lives, and I was blown away by his performance.
Heck yeah. And
I thought he was kick-ass. And then I saw him I was watching The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and he pops up as Kate Blanchett's husband in it. And I was like, what?
That's weird. That is weird. Because he is so good at that role that he did in the movie. He is so good at it. I'm sure that he can get some more roles like that because he's very good.
Yeah, he's a disturbing guy. He came up with this one line about my friend Catherine Michelle's hair. red, and I'm not going to finish it from here, but he came up with line and ad-libbed it. We were like, what the heck? It's great, though.
But like I said to James Cotton, I said there's one scene in the movie that happened in the movie, and I'm not afraid to mention it because you see part of it in the trailer, but it stops it. But it's not going to ruin the movie. Is when he put the gun in her mouth. I won't go any farther than that, but I never ever seen that before in a horror movie.
Yeah, man, that was every time I watch the movie, that part still disturbs me. You know.
It does.
I still get uneasy, like I'm seeing it for the first time. I don't know what's going to happen. And I love that girl, Kathy Self. She's such a sweet, talented, beautiful person, inside and out. And just to watch her get that done to her too, it's very disturbing. I think she did a great job in that scene.
Yes, I agree. Now let's talk about one of the sons, and you know who I'm going to talk about. The giant. He is.
Yeah.
That would be James T. Davis. No, wait. Am I right? Cody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Jason. Yeah, I call him Jason, but
yeah,
Jason Davis. Yeah, he is. He's another. I mean, I hate to sound like I'm just a love fest over here, but another.
Go for it.
Another stand-up guy and a great actor and a guy who James just knows locally. He's a musician, an amazing blues guitarist, and James cast him in another movie we did together, and Sugar Creek.
Yep.
And he was menacing and sick then too. We became buddies then. I don't talk to him often, but whenever I see him, we drop right back into where we left off. And I thought he does a great job. I mean, he's this guy's acting from what he knows instinctually. He hasn't had much training, so his thing was like, okay, I'm a badass. I want to kill you. I'm gonna basically method it. And this guy, who's one of my really good friends, scared the crap out of me sometimes.
Yeah.
So just on set, because he's staring at me and screwing with me, and it works, it works.
Well, I call it a seahorse, but that seahorse scene was crazy.
Oh man, yeah, that was probably the most uncomfortable. There's two really uncomfortable scenes I had to do, and I'm talking about physically, because mentally I could do things and put myself in the situation of the movie. I don't take it like, oh, this is real. But that physically was so uncomfortable to be on that. I call it a sawhorse, but a seahorse, whatever. For
same thing, yeah.
5 hours plus. It was really uncomfortable. It was a really uncomfortable position, and obviously, but just the stance that I had to take over it was hurt. It hurt, and I used it. I just used it.
Right.
But it was a miserable experience, and that blowtorch was real. And when you're doing independent filmmaking in Arkansas, they get very close to reality. So thank God you have professional crew people that know, okay, you got to make sure no one gets hurt. But that blowtorch was real and hot and near my face, so I didn't need much acting there. It freaked me out,
But he had some good lines in that movie. Like he said, he has little experience, but what he would say, like he said, I told you. I can't remember how the line goes anymore, but he said, I told you that you will pay, or something like that. And he said it with such dryness. That scene was intense.
Yeah, he's very subtle, and I think he's actually like a nice guy, and so that's what they were going for with that character. I remember them saying they wanted him to be someone that the girls might be like, oh, he's cute and nice, whatever, but really he's just this sick, twisted guy that you don't expect to come at you with the rifle when he does,
Now, like I said also to James, I said the ending, when Grizz Hayhurst, the farmer, he picks you up in his truck, and I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to give it away, but the truck turns around, and I said to myself, dude, wake the fuck up. Wake up.
I know. I know.
But that was a cool scene too. I mean, the ending was crazy too.
Yeah, I don't want to give it away either, but that was, they debated doing that a bunch of different ways, and I think the way they did it works pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, the guy's been through hell and back, and he's been running through this woods all night, so he's so disoriented. By the time he gets to where he's at, he doesn't know what's going on. So when this guy picks him up, he's just like, okay, get me out of here, you know?
And from what
Well, yeah, if it was me, I would have been a little bit more paranoid about who the heck are you, you know?
That's what I thought myself. Like, wait a minute here. Something ain't going to go very well here. But I noticed that the opening scene of the movie was actually the ending. That was the whole purpose. Am I correct? The opening scene was a truck going down the road in the woods, and that's exactly what happened at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I could be dreaming, but
I'm not sure. I know it's the same kind of shot of the Resurrection County sign.
yeah.
I don't know if that was supposed to be establishing the. I don't know if it's the same truck. It may be.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad.
I can't remember.
But like I said, I'm glad I got a hold of you. I mean, we've been phone tagging forever, but
yeah, man.
But I told you
Me
that
too.
your role in this movie was phenomenal. I mean, you were the hard ass. You were the no nonsense. It's just neat how, you know, usually in most horror movies, the hard ass always dies first.
Yeah.
But in this case, I mean, you were there to the end. I'm not going to say any more, obviously, but a damn good performance. You know, bravo. I really enjoyed.
I really appreciate it, man, because you know, I remember we screened it in the Little Rock Film Festival, and this guy was there who makes more, I'd say, straight-laced independent fare, you know, and his movie was about this guy coming to grips with basically like his life, you know, and his family, and it was a great little movie. You could see it being like nominated for an Academy Award, even, you know.
Right.
And so we went to their screening, and they came to our screening. And after it was over, we were figuring what the hell do they think, because we saw their screening first. It was like this little, like, small, quiet picture.
Right.
And they were like, okay, that was intense. You know, they were kind of quiet for a minute. And the director came up to me somewhere in the course of the night and said, I got to tell you something. When I saw you at this festival, I didn't like you. I didn't want to like you. Like when I saw you in the movie, when you first came up, I didn't want to like you. I thought, oh, here we go, this hot guy who thinks he's hot shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He said, but you really pulled it out. You really, there's something to your performance that is vulnerable, and you did it. You played it different than most people would come in and play the hot shit guy, you know?
Right.
And it meant a lot to me because I love acting, and I want to find those different choices that aren't cliche, and you can't just create them. They have to come from you, you know?
Exactly.
And so with Tommy, I just really tried to say if I was in the situation, all I would be thinking about was the love of my life, who's pregnant, you know, my kid and the love of my life. I mean, I got to get them out of there. And then the whole performance becomes about that, and that's, I think, where the heart comes from, you know, and the fight to win and stay alive.
And there's one scene that involves her that blew me away, and I ain't saying no more, but that scene there you don't see very, very much either, if you know what I'm talking about.
Towards the end, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that scene, and I won't give away too much either. What follows that scene, there's like a confrontation that follows that scene.
Yep.
That was the second hardest scene of the movie. We shot that in 20-degree weather in the course of like probably, I think it was midnight to 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 6 hours. I was drenched, soaking wet, drenched after we learned the choreography. We learned the choreography like for a few weeks, you know?
Right.
Up fight. And I was soaking wet, drenched, full of adrenaline, because the whole time. I thought I was going to get hypothermia, but after that happened, whatever the impotence to get me to attack him was so real, that it made me like, Anyway, but I won't say any more because I feel like I'm going to give stuff away. So
right.
I won't say any more about that.
But now, the chemistry between you and Dayton, well, that's his real name, but the chemistry and the storyline between you two, it's so common in today's society where the big brother, his sister's pregnant, and that scene was a good part of the movie as well. That made it real.
Thanks. Yeah, Dayton's a good guy. Like I said, I know him, and so I tend to make like people. I don't know. Sometimes I just tend to act. I'm like a big kid, even though I'm like responsible and all that, and mature in other ways. I am like a big kid, so I always kind of look up to my friends anyway.
Right.
So it was and Dayton's very serious, so it was almost easy to treat him like a dad figure or something,
Right.
So yeah, I like the scenes between us, I really do. And I remember that first scene on the ATV when he tells me, why don't you get a job and all that. I had not slept a wink. Because we got there, I was just so excited to go shoot. I couldn't sleep all night. So that was our first scene that we shot together. And I like that scene.
Now, Robert Miano. Now, what was it like to work with him?
I didn't work directly with him on this film. He was on Sugar Creek as well, which I was in, which James Cotton directed. And I met him then, and I met him at the screening. I never get to work with him.
That's true.
So. Yeah, so I can't tell you that. All I know is that I heard when he was on set and he was doing his speech as the preacher, they had a bunch of extras come down, which was locals, basically just excited to be part of the movie, and crew and all that. And I heard that almost everyone was really crying at his speech. So
he's intense.
And it was so good, and they intercut it with images of the the coffins and them getting ready to kind of take their revenge on us.
Right.
Or vengeance on us. And so you don't get to see the whole thing because it just would have been a poor piece of cinema to just have him talking for like 5 minutes, But I heard that speech was just really powerful.
Yeah, like I told James also, his role in the movie, he kind of resembles the Amish. Now, in the area that I live in, we got Dutch country, so it's Amish. Of course, Amish doesn't do the vengeance like they do, but just by seeing him with the glasses on, he had some resemblance of the Amish.
He did.
That made it weird for me.
Yeah. You're like, that's what they're really doing under those wagon-covered... But I've been to, I'm from the East Coast, so I've been to Amish country.
Okay.
Amish country. But yeah, he did kind of look like that.
Now, do you want to talk about Sugar Creek since you mentioned it?
Sure, if you want.
Go ahead.
Now, Sugar Creek, do you know about it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I have the movie, but I haven't seen it yet.
Sugar Creek was another James Cotton film, and that was his baby. We did Demon Slayer together. He got that out of LA Film School. He got chosen by Roger Corman to direct first feature film, and called Demon Slayer, which was on Sci-Fi Network.
Right.
And he cast me in it, which was awesome. And then after that, I knew he had a plan to make this movie, Sugar Creek, and it was like his baby to get him some notice and get him started. And he told me the idea. It was about it's about the story of redemption, and it's about this soldier that takes place during the Civil War, right after the Civil War. And this soldier, it had a lot of biblical themes in it. The soldier's name is Adam, and he basically is being chased by. He wakes up in the beginning of the movie in a coffin in the middle of a field, and no shoes on, and he's being hunted by this horsemen. And it's almost like the horsemen of the apocalypse, you know, it's like taken from the Bible. And 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, you know, and basically this guy, he wanders through the land meeting all these people who represent, who again, the biblical themed characters, and loosely, and the whole time he's having flashbacks to when he was in the Civil War and this act that he did after the war was over, what he did to the locals down there. And there's this soldier played by me, his name was Lawrence, who basically represented the devil, loosely, and he tempts Adam to join them in basically taking what's theirs from these people after because after the war was over, we were stationed down there and they treated us terribly, and we feel that the soldiers gave them so much. You know, we were there for them, and they hated us for being there. So I felt it was appropriate to take from them what we want, including their daughters, including their money. And so I basically persuade Adam to join me in plundering them, plundering their little villages, so to speak. And he's not necessarily evil, Adam, but he, like Adam in the Bible, he takes a temptation and he gives into it because it's riches and it's sex and it's power.
Right.
And so you figure out through the course of the story who this horseman is and why he's hunting Adam and these other soldiers.
Interesting.
And yeah, so it's pretty interesting story, and I think James did it for a lot lower budget than he had wanted to, and the way they came together down there in Arkansas to build these fake towns and just make this thing look beautiful. Right. I was so impressed, and it really to me proved to me that what James Cotton was saying to me always about filmmaking was not just a fluke thing. You know, this guy knew what he was doing. So I had a great experience with that. It's out on DVD, I believe, in Netflix and some video stores. I recommend checking it out.
Well, I might pop it in tonight. Watch it. James Cotton also told me that it cost them $3,000 to build that town like that, to make it look so real like that. He said he couldn't believe it. He was so happy.
Yeah, wait till you see it. Is all I'll say. You know the price. Wait till you see it.
That's cool. Now I see M.D. Graham. He played the clerk in Resurrection County, and he played the bartender in this movie.
Yeah, he's another local, really great guy. Wanted to get involved in filmmaking. I know that he helped. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I think I am. Get some of the investors for the film. So James threw him a part here or there, and because he had some interest in acting, and yeah, he got. I believe he's out of Resurrection County only because the scene didn't lend itself to the movie. It was just kind of getting too long, and they cut it out. But
right.
I don't. So you don't see him in Res County.
All right. Now, you mentioned on the phone earlier that you were filming something. Now, are you doing? You said that you were filming something in Brooklyn? What's that about?
Yeah, I was filming actually in 2 hours north of Philadelphia, in Franklin.
Okay.
And then I had one more pickup day in Brooklyn for like the local stuff. And basically, the movie it's called The Cemetery, and it's about by Adam Albrand, who did a movie called Burnt House and Sight, Lionsgate distributed. Okay. And and they're both horror films. And this guy Adam Albrand is a crazy guy. And another person I just met him, a month ago, but I love him. And his whole goal, and you'll love him too, you should probably interview him, because his whole goal is to make independent horror films, like the rest of his life. Like just make, not just independent, but just, he wants to just make horror films.
That's my boy.
Yeah, so he's a sick and twisted individual. So he picked the right job. But basically, this was his Evil Dead kind of movie, you know. And it's called The Cemetery. And it's about this group of ghost hunters, like the Ghost Hunter TV shows,
right?
Who go into the woods and try to basically investigate this legend of this town where people were supposedly possessed by the devil, and they turned against the people turned against the. I'm sorry. When they tried to do the exorcism, nothing would work, and basically these people just became demons and ghosts. You know, that was the legend. It was they found it in another church they were investigating. So this group of ragtag individuals goes to do a ghost hunter episode in the cemetery, and in the cemetery in the middle of nowhere. And I play Tim Floyd, and I gave him that last name as an homage to Brad Pitt in True Romance, who plays Floyd, because basically my character is a big pothead and like a womanizer, and just like thinks he's the man, you know, and kind of like lives up to his name with the women. And so these guys pick me up. We go into the woods and we start looking for this cemetery. We find it and we set the cameras and basically we summon a demon on accident. Ooh. And I go off into the woods with this guy's girlfriend, the head of the show, the Ghost Hunter show, and I wind up sleeping with her. And she gets possessed by the demon. And so the next day we wake up and she's gone. We're looking for her, and she pops up looking pretty rough, and her arm breaks loose. Oh, so there you go. And it was really fun, and we had Tom Savini's special effects school doing all the effects.
Sweet.
I don't know. You probably know him. Yeah.
Tom Savini's a shit. He's awesome.
Yeah. So we were so grateful to have that because it made the movie. The movie is very special effects heavy because, like I said, it's like Evil Dead. So it's a lot of just fun, gory, cheesy, like heads rolling kind of stuff. And they did a great job, man. And they did casts of our heads. You can see some of those pictures on Facebook, but it all came out looking so great because this is stuff that could cost millions of dollars, and it was all favors, you know?
Right.
So
now, when's this due for release? Probably, later on next year?
They're talking about February or March, they said. They hope they get it to be out. Billy Graham was in it, too. I don't know if you know him. He's been in a few horror films. He played the Native American demon. He's crazy. Crazy guy in a good way.
Yeah.
And he was in it as well. And the producers have a documentary coming out called Chosen, Chosin, which is actually a documentary on World War II, actually.
Okay.
Specific battle that not many people know about. And they're getting a big release with that film, and they're hoping even maybe possibly get a nomination. So they're going to have a nice buzz behind them, and they're the ones that produced this film. So
cool.
Yeah, it was a great experience, man. I hope it turns out as good as it felt. You know?
Oh well, when it comes out and I see it, I'm sure to call you and let you know.
Yeah, please. We'll interview you again, even if it takes us all day, all month to get the hookup.
That's awesome. All right. Was there anything else you want to tell the audience? Any other future projects?
Well, another future project of mine is I'll tell you about two quick things. One is called What Remains, and it's a movie that I'm actually producing with Adam Albrecht directing it, I'm pretty sure, and the same producers who did The Cemetery. We're hoping, I sent them the script, they really liked it, so I'm hoping to produce it with them in the next coming months. And we have some named talent, letters of intent from some named talent, familiar faces in horror and regular cinema that I don't want to mention just in case it doesn't work out. But
right.
I think you'd be the audience would be pretty excited to see this one guy we have who is a horror movie staple to be in this. If it works out, he'd be in this movie. And I'd be in it, acting in it as well, and so would my friend Catherine Michelle, the one that was in Resurrection County with me.
Right.
But she is now back to long blonde hair, so you might not recognize her. But so hopefully we're producing that. It's a story that takes place in Louisiana, and it's based on the LaLauries, which is a real life story that you could Google it, and it's pretty twisted. They're like the first serial killers ever to be documented in the United States.
Oh, wow.
And they did some pretty sick and twisted things. So we're hoping. I wrote the script, and we're hoping to produce it and start it soon. So they say Adam Albrecht and Brian Iglesias and Anton, they were all the producers on the film. They told me that they'd like to really do that next, so I'm hoping that happens.
Cool.
And then the last thing I'll mention is I did something called Time Trials, which is a sci-fi TV pilot.
Oh, yeah?
And we're hoping it gets picked up. It looks really amazing. And I play the lead in it, who's basically a neuroscientist who gets pulled into this professor's plan to build a time machine, and he wants to go back in time and basically develop the time machine and then destroy it, so no one else can never. If anyone else ever tries to invent time travel, we could pull out our secret time machine, go back and stop them, because he believes that any form of time travel will alter the universe in a bad way forever. And he believes that there are people who are on the verge of discovering time travel. So he wants to discover it first. Okay. So he can always put a stop to them. And my character winds up time traveling and becomes so power hungry that he spins out of control. So it's a really fun role to play and very different from anything I've done. And yeah, we're hoping that gets picked up, so fingers crossed.
I'll be looking for it.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thanks. Thanks for all the support, Scott.
No problem.
And,
all right.
And the audiences that watch this, thanks for your support, too.
All right. Adam, thanks for your time.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. I'm glad we got to finally hook up.
Yeah. Took a while, but we did.
And anytime, I love the press is good, and I appreciate it. So anytime you want to talk, give me a call.
You got it. Thanks again.
All right, Scott.
You take care.
You're welcome. Take care.
Yep, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.